Welcome to the introduction and walkthrough of the Simple Object Designer. Hey, I'm Eric, and once in a while you just need to add a field and you might not have time to call your developer, your partner, or figure out how to do this yourself with booting up Visual Studio Code and so on. And for that, I've created a new app for Business Central, and I want to show you it here. Take a look. So here is the marketplace app source, and the app is called the Simple Object Designer, which is exactly what it is. And I have already installed it into this Business Central. So I can go to the search function and find the Object Designer. If you're running the trial version, you can add one field. Otherwise, you can find on the front page a link to go to hogart.com to purchase the app. But let me show you how it works. This is unlike anything else right now, meaning that this is actually creating true fields. And for that, we need a setup that, because we're actually creating an extension, we're actually doing this the exact same way that it would be done if you would call me and say, hey, Eric, can you add a field to my Business Central? Sure. The result of what I would do and the result what this app is doing is the exact same thing. And in this case, I'm running a New Zealand version of BC, so it takes the company name as the publisher, and I call this New Fields, and it will find an empty space in the object number range to put your fields. So in this case, we just start with 50,000. So setup is fine. And then I just hit create fields and figure out where do I want to create the fields. And let's, how about we go to the location card. Let's say that we need to add a field to the location card. So any table here, even tables that are from other extensions and so on, any table is available. And let me add a field called manager. Maybe I want to know the name of the guy who is in charge of this inventory location. And the field type should be a text field. And it suggests a size 50. It also suggests a caption, meaning that manager, that's probably, so there's, each field has a name, but it also has a caption, what you actually see the field as. And now I need to place the field. So I click the not placed, and the first time you click on this is just gonna take a couple of seconds to figure out where you can actually place a field. So now what the object designer is doing is that it's analyzing all the pages you have in the system, and it's figuring out where can this field be added. And it found seven places. So let's say that I really want this on the location list. So I can select an anchor, and those are two fields. So I'll select name and say that this should be added after the name. And let me also go down to the location card and let me add this. Let's add it. There's a contact field. That's too obvious. Let's add it just after the address 2 here. So add after the address 2. I close this. And I close this one again. And now we can see that the statistics tells us that we have added one new field and we have placed it on 2 pages. But we actually have not done this yet. So I can now hit publish to this environment. If you say no now, you will actually get a download of the extension that you can publish on a different environment. So let's say that you're doing this in a sandbox and figuring out what fields you want, and then you can just take the outputted extension and upload to your production environment, or you can just run it in the production environment. As I'm actually running a sandbox now, but you can do both. I'll say yes. Now the object designer is building and compiling a extension. And we get a message saying that they are deploying. So now we can go to extension management and take a look. And we can go into the deployment status and see what's happening. And we'll look at the top row here. And we can see that my new fields now in app version 3, because I did a couple of tests before I started the video, is in process. And I can hit F5. And depending on how fast Microsoft is on the servers, in just a moment or two, this is hopefully completed. I keep hitting F5 here. And as soon as I get impatient, it's typically done. So I can escape out and go back in. Sometimes that helps, for my patience at least. In progress, completed. So now my fields has been deployed. I can go to location. We can see that I have a new field called manager right after name. If I go onto the location card, we can see that now I have a manager field sitting here, and I'll assign myself as manager on the East warehouse. And you can see this updated here. So that's how easy it is to add a field to your Business Central with the simple object designer. You can add fields to any table, any page where that table is represented, and it's that easy. So if you want to see more about this, I suggest that you look it up in AppSource, try it yourself, or you can go visit hogarth.com/designer to read more about it. Until next time, have fun.